The old grandfather clock chimed 12 times. Each clang resonated through the silent house. Sarah sat alone in the living room. The only light came from a single lamp, casting long shadows across the room. Outside, the wind howled like a hungry wolf. The windows rattled in their frames. Sarah hugged her knees to her chest. She tried to ignore the spooky noises. She told herself it was just the wind. But deep down, a shiver ran down her spine. She felt a presence in the room, something unseen and unheard. The silence was suddenly broken by a soft whisper. It seemed to come from the darkest corner of the room. Sarah's breath hitched in her throat. Her heart pounded in her chest. She froze, fear gripping her like icy claws. The whisper came again, a little louder this time. It sounded like someone was calling her name. Sarah. Sarah. The voice was soft and mournful, sending chills down her spine. Sarah's eyes darted around the room. She scanned the shadows, searching for the source of the whisper. The hair on the back of her neck stood on end. She felt a cold spot form near her, despite the warmth from the fireplace. She knew she should be scared. But a strange sense of curiosity began to well up inside her. It was mixed with a peculiar courage. She wanted to know who was whispering her name. Slowly, Sarah rose to her feet. Her legs trembled slightly. She took a deep breath and whispered, "Who's there?" Her voice sounded small and shaky in the large room. There was no answer. Only the sound of her own breathing and the relentless howling of the wind outside. But the whispering continued, beckoning her closer to the shadows. With newfound determination, Sarah inched toward the corner. Each step took her further into the darkness. The whispers grew louder, clearer. They seemed to be pulling her in. Section 4. Reflections in the glass. As Sarah approached the corner, she noticed something she hadn't seen before. An old, ornately framed mirror stood hidden in the shadows. Its glass was cloudy with age, reflecting the dim light in distorted waves. In the mirror's reflection, she saw her own frightened face, but something was different. Behind her, a figure began to form in the glass. It was a young girl, about Sarah's age, with long, dark hair and a pale, heart-shaped face. But what chilled Sarah to the bone were the girl's eyes. They were hollow and dark, like empty sockets staring back at her. A cold, ethereal light emanated from them. Section 5. A ghostly encounter. The ghostly girl in the mirror moved. She slowly lifted her hand, reaching out towards Sarah. Her touch seemed to send icy tendrils through the glass, wrapping around Sarah's heart. Terror, pure and icy, gripped Sarah. She wanted to scream, to run, but her voice caught in her throat. Her feet felt like they were rooted to the spot. She was frozen, trapped in a nightmare. The whispering intensified, swirling around her like a chilling breeze. The girl's hollow eyes seemed to bore into Sarah's soul, filled with a profound sadness and longing. Section 6. Vanishing at the stroke. Suddenly, the grandfather clock in the hall chimed. 12:30. As quickly as it had appeared, the ghostly girl in the mirror began to fade. Her form wavered like a flickering candle flame. Then, with a final mournful whisper, she vanished completely. The mirror reflected only Sarah's terrified face once again. Sarah stumbled back, her heart pounding in her ears. The room seemed colder now, emptier. But she couldn't shake the feeling that she was not alone. The ghostly girl might be gone from the mirror, but Sarah knew deep down that she hadn't seen the last of her. The haunting, she realized, was far from over.